there, everybody. Cindy Hartzell with Unbridled Freedom and Hartzell Confidence-Based Horsemanship. And I want to thank all of our new members to this private group for saying yes to being a part of this journey of becoming the best horsewomen we can be for our horses. And what does that mean? Means a lot, actually. Becoming a horsewoman is different than being somebody who has a horse and rides a horse, or someone who is focused on equitation. Horsemanship is about the horse and understanding the horse from the ground up and from the inside out. It's about nurturing a relationship that goes beyond learning how to make the horse go, stop, do what you want it to do. It's like any other relationship in our life that is worth having. It takes a commitment on both parts. It takes the courage to be vulnerable and learn when you don't understand, when you don't know, when things get difficult. It takes the courage to be uncomfortable, to stand still, to not get frustrated or impatient with yourself or your horse. It takes the willingness to have humility and accept that you might not know what you need to know in order to help this relationship to bloom and to grow and to blossom into what it can be. Today's live time together is seek professional guidance. And I want to come back to the horsemanship part. Horsemanship is a way of life, really. And I understand that some of you might not be interested in that journey. But if you love your horse and you want to have the unbridled freedom to do whatever you guys want to do, it takes a degree of learning horsemanship. Horsemanship is about understanding herd dynamics, how horses learn, how humans learn, how horses see the world, how to engage with them on the ground and in the saddle in a way that is meaningful to them, that they can understand, that allows them to communicate with you so that it's truly a partnership. I compare horsemanship to ballroom dancing, because in ballroom dancing, if you watch YouTube ballroom dancing and watch these couples that have been dancing together for a very long time, they come together as one. And they slide and glide in rhythm to the music, so deeply connected to one another. And the way that they can do that is they've made the commitment to themselves and to each other to learn the steps, to learn the movements, to learn how to feel the rhythm, learn to come together and feel each other, and to move in harmony. That's what horsemanship, that's what a partnership with your horse is like. And it takes practice. Ballroom dancers don't just get out on the floor and show up for a competition and think that it's all going to go great. No, they have practiced together so that when they need to come together as a team to feel each other from the inside out, to be fully present in their vertical core, grounded in that space below our belly button, which is our power center, with their hearts wide open and their heads, their intuition, that feel coming together. They practice this and they become masterful. And I think a ballroom dancer will agree with a horseman and a martial art person, someone who's practicing martial arts, is you never master these things. You become more masterful, because it's about, martial arts is about mastering yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, through that spiritual essence of who you are. Horsemanship is about mastering yourself first. Understanding yourself, knowing what your triggers are, knowing what your strengths are, knowing what your weaknesses are, and being willing to stay in your grounded, what I call vertical core presence, where your power center, your heart space, and your head space are connected. And then you're connecting with your horse. Ballroom dancers are doing the same thing, so I love to compare all three together. So, again, thank you all for joining. I'm so happy to see you guys all here. If you missed the live, I hope you watch the recording, and any questions, ahas, confusion, stories, please share in the comments below, because if you have a question or are confused about something I'm saying, there's a good chance that other members in this group are too, and that way we can all learn together. So I'm going to start out by sharing with you, I have my little outdoor kitty looking in my window. I'm going to start by sharing with you the experience that I had today. I took one of my students out on a trail riding lesson, and I'm working with her horse, who is a phenomenal horse who has been given a lot of bad information. She was actually trained by a trainer who believes in picking fights with horses, which I don't understand. And I believe that somebody that is picking a fight with a horse is simply because they don't truly possess the tools, the knowledge, and the skills and the confidence to apply those things with working with a horse. So they become intimidated when the horse doesn't do what they want them to do, and therefore they pick a fight. So anyway, this little horse has learned to pick a fight, and so my client and her were having lots of fights. And she is got a lot of forward go. She's got more go than woe, is what we'll often say. And it was really getting to be a problem. And so I've been working with her for a couple months now, where I've been riding savvy. And today we went out on our fourth trail ride, where she brings her other horse, Frenchie, and she rides Frenchie and I ride savvy. And last night we had a storm come in where we had thunder and lightning and hail, and the temperatures dropped 30 degrees. So we went out on this trail area where we've been riding all these other times, and I thought they were ready for a more advanced trail. And so we headed out on that advanced trail, and they were both struggling a little bit more than usual, and I could see weather coming in over the mountain. And I knew we were getting into a more technical part of the trail, going deeper into the mountains and deeper into ravines. And I knew that we were at a point where once we went any farther, we couldn't get out of it without precariously turning around on a single track. So what I did was followed my intuition and said, we need to get off this trail and go down this mountain to the lower trail that they're used to. And it was a pretty steep mountain. And so I asked my student, are you do you think you can follow me and traverse down this mountain? And she said yes. So as we started traversing down this steep mountain, it started raining, and it was raining pretty hard. And because I had worked with this client and these two horses in a controlled environment at the arena, in the arena at the facility she boards at, I had worked with teaching the horse and the rider to have the horse have a soft, supple neck, meaning can she willingly bend to her left and right without pulling against the bit, without fighting against it? Can she move her front end left and right without fighting? Can my client, can the horse disengage their hindquarters to the left and the right, making a full circle both directions without fighting the movement, fighting the request? Can they follow the feel? And can they go forward, and can they go backwards, and can they stop? Can they go left, and can they go right? Horses do 6 things naturally. They go forward, they go backwards, they go left, they go right. They go up, meaning changing gaits, and they go down, which means that slowing down. Those are the 6 things. We, as the rider, as the horseman, learn how to get the horse to do that with us as partners with a soft and gentle feel. Follow me, follow my feel. So because we worked with my student and the 2 horses on these maneuvers on the ground in a controlled situation, when it came time to traverse down this steep hill and pouring down rain, we were able to go from left to right, to move the 4 quarters around as we traversed, and to finish that turn, that hard, steep turn, by moving the hindquarters in the direction, downhill direction. They all did great. It was hard. Emotionally, I was pushing my student and these horses to the limit in pouring down rain with an impending storm coming through even stronger. We got down to the bottom and we let the horses graze. 1, they deserved it. 2, I needed to give my student and her horses the opportunity to get out of their sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, the adrenaline fed state of being, and down into the parasympathetic nervous system, where they are releasing endorphins and serotonin, and just get grounded. And then we proceeded on through the trail. Well, then we got into an area where we had hail. I mean, hard hail. The little savvy I was riding was about to lose her, excuse my French, shit. Her ears were pinned back. Her head was going up. She wanted to take off. And the natural reaction, the normal reaction, would be to hold her tighter and confine her. And that's not really being a partner. My partner, Savvy, was telling me, this is not okay with me. I, being a professional, gave her her head. And what she did was immediately turn her butt into the storm. Frenchie then saddled right up alongside her, and they dove their heads down into the grass and started eating. And all was calm. We all had our back to the storm. They were eating, so they're in their parasympathetic nervous system, releasing endorphins, releasing serotonin. God made prey animals eat off the ground for a reason. It's because of their autonomic nervous system. And we just weathered out the storm. We knew it was going to pass. And once it passed, they were ready to move on, and we were heading towards the trailhead. Because I I listened to her voice and I gave her a choice to show me as my partner what was the better choice in this situation. She showed me, and when we headed back out on the trail, she was so much calmer. She was walking with her head in that neutral plane, which is the pole, the withers, and the hips. That's the neutral plane. If they raise their head above, they're now in the sympathetic nervous system, releasing adrenaline and cortisol. If they lower their head below that neutral plane, they're now in the parasympathetic nervous system, releasing endorphins and serotonin. We want our horses to navigate through both of those sections for a reason, and that's another live video. So we ended up the trail ride with everybody calm, cool, and collected, and having learned that they physically, mentally, and emotionally could get through that situation. And the reason it was successful was because I, the professional, knew how to handle the entire situation. I stayed in my vertical core, in my gut, which is my power center, kept me grounded, in my heart, listening to the intuition, that voice that knows, and in my head that said, okay, I'm taking this information from a grounded place, and I have the skills, the knowledge, and the understanding of the tools to know how to navigate us through this situation. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. That is why when let me rephrase that. That is why it is so wise to seek professional guidance. Find a horsemanship mentor. Hey, I happen to be one. I teach people around the world about horsemanship, which includes horse psychology, herd dynamics, how horses learn and see the world, how we learn and see the world, and how through patterns on the ground and in the saddle prepare you through creating an amazing relationship of trust, connection, and communication, so that you have a partnership where no matter what shows up in the environment, you two can handle it. Savvy today showed up as a true partner for me. And I allowed her to, because I have done my inner work to stay grounded and present and connected. So, how do I stay grounded and connected? Just by doing what I just did. I could feel myself, my thoughts getting ahead of my ability to process and speak. So I take a deep breath. That's the pause. There's power in the pause. There's a lot of women out there that have horses who have fear, and they have confusion, and they have frustration, and their horses get confused and scared and worried, or they don't listen to the women because the women, quite honestly, there's no easy way to say this, do not possess the leadership skills that the horse needs in order to feel safe and comfortable in their guidance. So reaching out and finding a mentor to guide you on your journey and empower you with the knowledge and the skills and the tools and the understanding of all of them, and the understanding of this amazing being we call the horse. from the inside out. We have to understand them from the inside out, which means we have to understand their behavior, their herd dynamics, the psychology, the nervous system, and how to communicate with them in a way that makes sense to them. We have to understand ourselves. What scares us? What makes us confused? What makes us clamp down and not want to get out of our comfort zone? So in my program, and this is a shameless plug because that's why I have this group, is so that I can help empower you guys through these live free videos that I want to offer value through, and through my year-long mentorship program where we deep dive into all of this stuff. I was once that woman who just adored horses. I've had horses since I was 11 years old. I have been devoted to my horsemanship journey for 23 years. Before I became devoted to this journey, I didn't understand. I loved my horses, and I kind of fumbled and stumbled my way through, and I got frustrated, and I got scared, and I got confused and anxious, and so did my horse. All of the above. I merely rode my horse. I didn't ride with my horse. I didn't dance with my horse. I had to learn about me in the process of learning about my horse. And you know what? You can't do one without the other. When you take the deep dive into learning about your horse and how to make them feel, create a place where they feel safe and secure in your guidance, in your care, you can't learn about that stuff without learning about you. And what's amazing about that, ladies, is that when you learn more about your horse and how to communicate and connect with them in a way that they understand, you learn more about you, and it translates into every other relationship in your life. The horses are masters at social dynamics, at communication, at connection, at boundaries, about even problem solving. Savvy was a master today at problem solving. I didn't know what to do when the hail was was pulverizing all of us, and she was just like, I can't do this. I am not moving forward. But I did know that I had been nurturing that relationship with her and giving her lots and lots of moments over the last 2 months of riding her and working with her on the ground, of giving her the opportunity to show me what she knows, to let her have a voice and know that she has a choice in this relationship. And today it paid dividends in a situation that could have gotten really, really bad. I was to the point that I thought the best thing for the four of us, my student and I and the two horses, was for us to get off of them. And before I did that, my intuition said, no, that is not the right thing to do. So I just went back into my vertical core, grounded, and trusted her to show me what she was trying to tell me. And she knew exactly what to do. And it worked out beautifully. And in that moment that I said, okay, I trust you. You trusted me to traverse down that steep hill, that mountain. Right now, I trust you. And by trusting her in that moment and letting her do what she knew she needed to do to weather that storm, when we set back out on the trail, we had a deeper connection. We had more trust in one another. She trusted me to believe in her, and I trusted her to believe in me. So, ladies, I can take you from where you are to where you want to be with your horse as the professional guide. It's up to you to get to the point where you're ready to seek that guidance. And you know it. You'll know it. It gets scary. You feel vulnerable, like, well, I don't know where this is going to go, or if I'm going to like her, or if she can really help me. I'm embarrassed because I've had horses when I was growing up, and then I didn't have them for a while, and I have them now, and I'm embarrassed to admit that I'm struggling. I don't want to feel vulnerable and get out of my comfort zone and have to learn new things. And how can she teach me anything? I live in Kansas and she lives in Nevada, and how can she help me? All those, what we call safe problems, start running through your head because your psyche doesn't want to get out of the comfort zone, but your heart wants to have that deep connection with your horse where no matter what comes up, the two of you have worked together and grown together and gained trust and confidence in yourselves and in each other, that it doesn't matter what shows up. You will get through it. That's why you seek professional guidance. And I am here to help you. I was soaking wet by the end of that ride, and the horses were exhausted, and I was cold. My student was cold, but you know what? My heart was beaming. I could not have been any more proud of those three, because they have been vulnerable. They have been courageous. They have been committed to the dance. And today, they put everything we've been practicing in the arena that didn't seem like it might have been going anywhere. You know, it's like, okay, well, we can do this, but what's that mean? And why do I need to know how to move my horse's hindquarters? And why do I need to know how to move my horse's forequarters? Well, when you're traversing down a hill, a mountain like this, in pouring down rain, that practice on this paid dividends. So, seek professional guidance. I would love to hear your comments below, your ahas below, your challenges. I would love to have a free 30-minute discovery call with you if you want to learn more. If you want to have a personal, private conversation with me. On this group's page, in the featured section above the posting comments, is a post with the link to just copy and paste it up in your search bar that will take you to my calendar to set up a free, no obligations, let's get to know each other. Tell me where you're at. Tell me where you want to be. And let me explain to you how I can help you. I'm not going to hard sell you on anything. You are part of this group. You are going to get so much value out of this group. But if you're ready to take that deep dive, I would love to be your mentor. All right, everybody, we're at that 30-minute mark, and thank you so very much for for joining us in this Unbridled Freedom group. Share with me what you learned, what you want to learn, questions you have. Remember, if you have a question, I bet there's others in this group that do as well. We will be back here next week for our next live in our 8-part series, which is visualization and mindfulness. So I will see you next week, Thursday, 4:30 Pacific Daylight Time. Until then, take care.